Hello there.
Welcome back, my friend.
Hello, what have we here?
Jedi, we've been expecting you.
Knew I could count on you.
Hello.
Welcome to the rebellion.
What fun!
What's up, everyone? Hybrid here, and today we are taking a look at a brand new case of Carbonites, one that I am so super excited to talk about. This is the Trading Places case. Vincent has dug deep here and gone all the way back to Season 1 of the Clone Wars, a great season of the Clone Wars, and this case is based off of Downfall of a Droid, the first part of a two-part in the Clone Wars that ended with the Duel of the Droids. In this story, Anakin's Jedi Interceptor, or Starfighter, got shot down in a battle with General Grievous, and R2-D2 was thought lost, and he got a replacement astromech droid, R3-S7, I believe. They nicknamed him Goldie. And he was a traitorous separatist plant in the Grand Army of the Republic. So it was a really, really fun story, and one that made R2-D2 feel very important to the Clone Wars early on. So this is a case that I'm super excited to tear into. Let's go ahead and do the normal look at the packaging before we get too far ahead of ourselves. And here's our Trading Places case. As always, we're going to take a quick look at the packaging, which Vincent has nailed as always. It is your white cardboard box they always come in, with the 6 characters on the front underneath the name of the case, Trading Places, sorry, rhyming here. Got Vincent's name there in signature format, very, very nice. The spine of the box features your 3 colored stripes to indicate it is a Clone Wars case. It is case number 5 in the Clone Wars lineup. The name is below the 6 characters, of course. Around back, you get some more information about the brand. I do encourage you to just check out the Carbonites website. Vincent has a ton of information about the brand there, and each end of the box features a Carbonites logo. To open it up, you do get this little thumb area. I generally like to work a finger under the end, and then opening it like so. You get a tissue paper with Han and Carbonite. If it was your only order, only case in your order, you would get a letter from him. However, I got that in the other case in this order. All 6 characters are there, included with the mint in box, and usually a shake will do. Let's go ahead and take a close look at all of them. Here are 6 characters out of the case, but before we dive too deep into them, I want to mention one of my favorite parts, the mint in the box. This fills a little bit of a void in the box, but also is a fun play on words, because inside of it is a Han and Carbonite enshrouded winter mint, lifesavers mint, which is just a really fun play, the collector terminology of mint in the box. I always enjoy snacking on those while editing a Carbonites review. That said, speaking of the review, let's dive right back in. So, starting with the hero of the Clone Wars himself. This is the Chosen One Samurai Poncho TTW. This is Anakin Skywalker as he is wearing that poncho on Gonnax freighter. They board it looking for R2 as he is scavenging at the battlefield. And this poncho is actually so cool that Hot Toys included it with their Hot Toys initial offering of Clone Wars Anakin before we got the actual canonical version for the Ahsoka series. So it is a really cool look. It's a look that we only see in one episode, but that's something really fun about Vincent. Is he is not afraid to grab the obscure and stick them in a case. And the potential to have infinite characters in Carbonites like that is very, very fun. So it's a very, very nice representation of Anakin. Those blue eyes are just blasting right through you. The scar over the one, of course. His hair is parted very nicely and combed back to his ears. And the poncho is covering up in that very familiar Clone Wars design, but you get just little peaks of that armor on the shoulders there. Is a very nice representation of the character, and I like it a good deal. And then here we go, getting into my favorite character. This is the orange and blue samurai poncho TCW. This is Ahsoka in her poncho, because she and Anakin go over to Gonnax freighter, and they actually encounter the only fart joke in the Clone Wars. So that's a little behind the scenes for you. But Ahsoka looks great. Very similar poncho design to Anakin. You see little bits of her costume peeking out through the gaps at the bottom. Very fun little Easter egg. And I always like how the contrasty dark blue and white of her head tails really, really pop on Carbonites. It's just a very good look. One that Vincent has gotten down nicely. And I like her expression. It's determined as early Clone Wars. She's got just the touch of a smirk going on. She's a little sassy. The horrors of war haven't tamed her yet. So she's very much a young Ahsoka. And that's what she should be. So great work here, Vincent, of course. And then here we have the hero of the saga. We have the Chosen One Samurai's Asteroid Mech, TCW. It's a little bit wordy, but it fits. This is very recognizably R2-D2. There are a couple things that make him a little bit more Clone Wars-esque. For instance, more of a gray on the dome. I do like the choice for the red eye there. It flickers between red and blue, but in the Clone Wars, I noted they preferred red more often than not. Very nice choice by Vincent. The white body of R2 looks very, very nice. You see, you get the entirety of his legs all the way down to the bottom. Most Carbonites stop at the waist, but since the astromechs are a little bit shorter than your average human in the Clone Wars or in Star Wars in general, they're a little bit higher than waist height. They were able to fit entirely under the Carbonites design, which means that technically they really should be about that tall to fit together, but it's an art. It is an artistic interpretation. We are not going to nitpick the work here. I love it all the same. Very, very nice interpretation of R2-D2. It's very thorough. I love all of the lit up random colored buttons there on the back. It's a very good look. I like it a lot. Here we have the Cyborg Separatist General's Asteroid Mech. And this is, of course, R3S7, or Goldie. Dave Filoni made this guy Pittsburgh Steelers colors because he is a Western Pennsylvania native. That is something that I picked up from the behind-the-scenes featurettes on the Clone Wars Season 1 DVD way back in the day. I'm not a big sports ball guy. Baseball's not even my thing, but Steelers would probably be my go-to team. So it's a really fun little niche. Now, he's been interpreted a little bit more of a dark gray instead of just straight black. I feel like that fits because he may have been painted black in the episode, but there's a little bit of grime going on, which then has to be a little bit lighter than the black so that you see it, on like the model. So I accept the choices here, and it makes the black line work. Contrast, it's one of those things where if you make him black, you're not going to see the paneling lines on him, so kind of got to make it work. But he looks really, really nice. A lot of similar markings to R2-D2. He has the two stripes going all the way around the dome, which are just a very good look as well. I think that Vincent has done some phenomenal work on this character design. Again, a little bit of an obscure one, but very cool. This guy here, what an ugly mug. This is the Cyborg Separatist General's Informant. He is Ga-Nacht, as he is known in the Clone Wars, the defecator of the only fart joke in the Clone Wars, so I gotta love that. He is a very derpy-looking Trandoshan guy. He is very rough and very hunchback-looking in the show before Grievous disposes of him, of course. But we see him in Downfall of the Droid. I believe he is taken out in Duel of the Droids very early on, but a very, very iconic design from Season 1. He is wearing the blue jumpsuit that he wears. You see the scaling coming down his arms, potentially reused from Bosk. I respect it. But very, very nice attention to detail with the belt going around and all the line work on the head and just the reptilian scales and the ridges on the top of the head. A very, very nice Carbonite, one that Vincent did great on. Some of these obscure ones, really get a ton of effort put into them. They all get a ton of effort, but, you would think, on a character like Ga-Nacht, no one's going to nitpick it. Vincent doesn't care. He just does it right. Here we have the Cyborg Separatist General TCW. This is the Clone Wars interpretation of General Grievous. Some of the colors are reworked a little bit. He has very sinister yellow eyes peering through there. Grievous is a bit of an interesting shape, being that his head is forward of his chest, so I accept some of the choices that have had to be made here, just making the top of the sides tan. It's how do you interpret him into a cube form? I think Vincent has done the best of both worlds here, and it is very recognizable as the character. Of course, the black areas represent voids. You would be able to see through him for the most part, and I also dig that as well. It's a good interpretation of a very difficult-to-manage character, and I think Vincent has done a great job, as he always does when it comes to his awesome cases of Carbonites. So at the end of the day, what do I think of this case? I think Vincent knocked it out of the park. Downfall of the Droid was a devastating episode as a child. R2's gone missing. Little me did not even factor in the fact that we see R2 in movies set after this, so it had to have surely meant that R2 was going to come back into the fold. It was a very edge-of-the-seat episode for us Clone Wars kids, and I am grateful to have this case of Carbonites to reminisce on such times. They were simpler times. 2008 was just, what a great time to be a kid. We had so many cool things going on back then. But these characters have all been interpreted into Carbonite's form very, very well. Great job to Vincent here. I really love this case, and I foresee it being a performer. So, if you're interested in this case, go check out Carbonites. I will have the link to the website in the description down below. I highly recommend you go check them out. So, that said, thank you for coming and hanging out with us here, for taking a look at these really cool Carbonites. I'm going to go work on something else now. Thanks again. May the Force be with you, and we will see you next time here at Hybrid. Bye.